called the name of the Lord, and spake unto her, Thou God seest me. For she said, Have I also here looked after him that seeth me? Here's Hagar, a girl that was despised, but yet she said, Thou God seest me. Nobody else may have been paying much attention to Hagar. Sarah obviously wanted her gone, but yet she was able to say, Thou God seest me. As majestic and as wonderful as He is, even though the heavens are His throne, even though the earth is His footstool, I'm thankful we have a God that's very active, very involved, and very concerned with our lives tonight. And the psalmist, his prayer here is that he makes here in these verses, he'll guide you and I knowing how God is involved and interacts with our lives tonight. It's a very humbling thought to know how God makes Himself so available to you and I, yet He is so glorious. And yet His wonder tonight is so much higher than you and I can understand tonight. So look with me in verses 169 through 170 where you'll see that one way that God interacts with our lives, one way that God's accessible to our lives, one way that God is active in our lives is that He'll hear you and I. He says in verse 169, Let my cry come near before Thee, O Lord, and give me understanding according to Thy word. And a very similar thought in the opening verses of verse 170 says, Let my supplication come before Thee, deliver me according to Thy word. The psalmist desires that God would give attention to his cries and that He would acknowledge his prayers. And we know that God does, but we've all felt like the psalmist at times, where we're trying to get the attention of God, where God seems not to be hearing our prayers. He seems not to be paying attention to the cries and the calls that we're lifting up to Him. And that's the prayer of the psalmist, Lord, let my cry come near before Thee. Lord, let my supplication come before Thee. What does the psalmist do? Does he get discouraged and upset that it feels like God's not hearing?